Well guys, it's time to go ahead and do another Weight Loss Wednesday update.
Oh, the day I break these chains, I'm bound for the life of the simple things.
I figured what better way to get into this than just getting started with the weigh-in again this week. Now, as you see here, I'm coming in at 213.8 pounds, and that is down approximately 2.7 pounds from last week, where I was 216.5 pounds, and that's now down a full 25.7 pounds since all the way back on January 1st, which is just 50 days ago. Now, I have to say that I'm really surprised, and again, I have to really thank Eric for doing this challenge with me, because it's really motivated me to do this. Also, I probably wouldn't be doing as well as I am if it hadn't been for, you know, AT Renee doing the hiking challenge thing and then sucking me into it. I do need to say that this week I basically didn't do as well as I would have liked to. It's the first week where I felt like I kind of slacked off. I had some stuff that went on at the beginning of the week that I wasn't in the best of moods and stuff. That's part of it, but still it just boils down to I didn't get it done. And it shows. It's the least weight that I've lost through this whole time period since the challenge began. And I didn't even quite make half of what my 50-mile goal for the week was for hiking / walking. I'm a little disappointed in that part of it. I'm happy with the weight loss. You know, it's pretty great to still be knocking out, you know, 2 to 3 pounds now 7 weeks into this process. And I think 25.7 pounds is absolutely great for just 50 days. I do think it's pretty funny that Eric over at Nomadic Fanatic and I are so stinking close. There's just a ½ pound separating us. Now, Eric has gone the route of calorie restriction. I've gone crazy with the exercise. I don't really watch what I eat that much. You know, I'm try to make sure I get my protein in. I try to keep it around 3,000 calories. Sometimes it may be a little more, sometimes maybe a little less. I'm just eating that one meal a day. I intend to stay active moving forward, but the additional exercise that I'm doing with the miles and walking, if there's a periods of time where I won't be able to keep that, I kind of plan on, you know, scaling back what I'm eating. You know, at that point is when I'll actually do something about diet. I do eat a lot of eggs, and the reason why I eat a lot of eggs is because it's basically nature's multivitamin, right? And just about every single thing that you need is there. And there's lots of evidence through research that shows about 48% of egg protein actually gets utilized into new tissue, which stomps everything else out there. There's some things that are better absorbed than eggs, but so few things, and none of the other things are utilized as well, because you get all the other nutrients that you pretty much need from the eggs. Now, at the beginning of this process, this is what I had looked like. I was pretty soft, kind of still had some man boobs going on. And this week, this is what I look like now. I kind of feel like I got a little softer from last week, but I definitely look a little bit bigger muscle wise, so I'm trying to decide what's going on there. I did actually have to cinch up the shorts a little tighter, so maybe that's why it looks a little softer or something. Eric over at Nomadic Fanatic had told me that he was gonna go ahead and take next week off as far as doing an update video, and I figured what the heck, I might as well go ahead and do the same, unless you guys out there leave me a whole bunch of comments saying to make sure to do an update next week, then I'll go ahead and do that. But I'm thinking that I'll probably go ahead and take the following week off along with Eric, unless I'd get a lot of comments telling me to make sure I update everybody. I kind of been covering a different topic every week, or a little bit, or something that I was asked by somebody the week prior, each time that we've done one of these updates. And then today I'm going to go ahead and discuss supplements and what I've been using and when I started using it and why. To keep your weight loss continuing, you have to change things about what you're doing. You constantly got to be shocking your body, because your body gets used to it and adapts to it. So I started off intermittent fasting with a 16-8 schedule. So that's 16 hours fasted, 8 hours actually eating, where I was eating 3 meals in that time period. Then as my weight loss started like tapering off, I went ahead and I changed that into a 20 hours fasted, 4 hours feeding window with only 2 meals. And I kept it there for like ever before I went to OMAD, which is like what I'm doing now, and I started adding some supplements. First supplement I ever started using was apple cider vinegar, and specifically the Bragg's organic version. The reason why I went ahead and added apple cider vinegar is because in research studies it has shown to make a difference in your A1C, which is connected to basically insulin insensitivity and reversing that. And the kind of weight level that I was at this beginning of this process, I'm pretty sure that I must have had some issue with that. And then also there is some evidence, although it is a bit mixed, that it does actually, I got to be careful with what I'm saying here, because some of the evidence was mixed and it wasn't statistically significant, and some of it was in the research that I'd looked up. And so I didn't see any of the research that would say it didn't help with weight loss. Okay, there is some that says it's statistically unconvincing. In other words, you know, it doesn't seem to be any better than randomness per se, or at least can't specifically said to be anything but random. And then there was evidence that, you know, it was significant. Now, the fact that it does actually have some effect on your A1C levels, I would say it probably was somewhat significant, and it's something that's so easy to implement. I just put a little bit in the bottom of a water bottle and fill it all the way up with 20 ounces of water, and then I drink that. That's how I take it. And so it just seems such a low cost, so easy to take it, no modification of lifestyle, and probably is helpful. And that's how I got into using apple cider vinegar. Next one that I started taking when I started lifting weights more recently, and before I actually decided for sure to go OMAD, and that's DIM. If you can read there, that's diethylmethane. And what that does is basically 3 things. So it makes estrogen go ahead and metabolize down the 2-hydroxyestrone pathway. And why that's important is that's actually the good, known as the good pathway as far as like estrogen metabolism, especially in women, but even in men, because we do have some, like our testosterone actually breaks down into estrogen. And so making sure it's down the right pathway prevents a lot of the problems that can come with estrogen in men. And then it's helps women stay healthy. Also, it's an aromatase inhibitor, and what that means is that it prevents testosterone to be broken down into like DHA, and it reduces the breakdown of testosterone into estrogen as well. And by doing that for men, you end up in a scenario where you should have a little bit of higher free testosterone, which is the biologically active form of testosterone, and that helps with weight loss, strength gains. Strength gains will help with actually being able to build muscle, because you can break the muscles down more when you're lifting weights and stuff to be able to build them back up. And then also you're gonna have a little bit more of a anabolic state in your body. Now, DIM actually comes from cruciferous vegetables. So really, if you ate enough cruciferous vegetables, there wouldn't really be a need to supplement with it at all. But most of us don't, and I'm notoriously bad for not. And then the last one that I take is ashwagandha, and I take it via organic root powder. You can get versions of ashwagandha that are like basically purified for the main active ingredients in it, but I just, having a background in the biological sciences and in biochemistry, for me, I don't like any lab treatment to anything that isn't absolutely necessary, just because of the potential for contamination. And it'd be pretty low, but still there is a possibility, so that's why I prefer the root powder. Now, ashwagandha, it has a lot of effects, and it had been used as a medicinal root for like probably over 3,000 years in India. They actually give it for treating many different illnesses, but one of the big things is actually to help control stress. So it's known as an adaptogen. So it helps reduce cortisol levels. It actually reduces blood sugar levels. It has the ability to boost testosterone in men. That it's been shown, and these are in Western studies. So not only have Eastern studies and Eastern usage of it been for, millennia, but also we're showing that we're backing these up with medical research. And now there also seems to be evidence of it being able to improve memory. And you got to be more careful about that, because there could be like combinations of things going on in there, but so I'm gonna be careful with that one. I do need to say that most of the dosages amounts are far less than what's actually used in Eastern medicine. So most of the time, the 800 milligrams that you'll see isn't really enough to do anything. You're gonna need to be at least in the 1600 milligram range, and most of the medicinal uses of ashwagandha in the Eastern medicine are more in the 5,000 to 6,000 milligram range per day. Just as an FYI, you kind of be the judge of it. Make sure that you get out there and do some of the research for yourself. I just thought I'd let you know what I'm out there using myself, and I've been pretty happy with the results I've had, and maybe you will too. Get out there, connect with people, live your big story, and make sure you do something every single day to reduce world suck. Peace, guys.